I feel like
And we're live.
cool. It still says off air on my end.
Oh, it always does that, but usually it records when you
Oh,
say
does it?
that.
Oh, does it? Okay. Well, there'll be another
Yeah.
one. Okay. If there is anyone listening, they're like, she's like
Yeah.
always behind. I don't.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Hello and
Hi.
welcome, our imaginary friends, to another episode to Don't Forget the Stage.
Woo!
We've been
That was.
getting caught up a little bit because
We
it's
have.
been a couple weeks, as you have probably noticed, since we've even been able to talk. My job's been busy, her life's been busy.
Yeah,
Life life happens.
it does.
So yes. I was gonna mention so we were just talking about about family and how my mom is kind of funny to talk about because she's kind of like the little sister I never had. But my stepdad is so funny because he's like the grandpa I never had, which is a weird
That
combination,
is a
but
weird
I know
combination.
they make it work though. So he just my mom, I don't remember what she was at, but she like went away for a day to hang out with people and all that fun stuff. And my stepdad, who's like, I can't remember if he's in his 60s or 70s. I'm pretty sure he's in his 70s.
Okay.
He decided that he was going to sign up for Facebook.
Oh my God.
And he's like he doesn't have a cell phone. Like he doesn't
What?
do that. He doesn't do that. And so
Wow.
it's so funny because I don't know if you've noticed or not, but he's always like he's found like the share button, and so like now he's always sharing like random videos onto my timeline, and like my mom's texting me and like apologizing to me about it, and I'm like, as long as it's not inappropriate, I'm fine. But it's just
That's
so
funny.
funny, and like it makes my day because it's like at least it's not like something stupid and political or something. It's like
Yeah.
bears trying to climb onto a hammock or like
Aw.
or
That's
like these
actually
very
really cute that he's
yeah.
like, he like sees all these videos and he's like, oh, Senna would love these. And like,
Yeah, yeah.
that's cute.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm his favorite because I'm not as crazy. I'm a different kind of crazy than
Yeah.
his actual kids.
Yeah.
So and
More of a
and
fun crazy.
yeah, and like I like to go fishing and all that
Right.
fun stuff, and like his kids don't do that with him or his grandkids, and yeah.
Mm.
So, but it's just hilarious because he's just sharing all these random videos. There's like a very like Lovecraftian, like these um like octopus windsock things that he posted on there, and they look
Oh, I saw
real.
that.
Yeah, and they're so creepy looking. Like every time I would like pass these things in my timeline, I'm like, "Whoa, what is that?" I'm like, "Oh, Roger shared it to my timeline."
Mm.
But it's pretty hilarious. So yeah,
Fun.
so yeah, good times.
Good
Lots of fun things happening.
times.
But but what is something exciting happening in your life?
This is not super exciting, but so my wife and I we just upgraded from a full-size bed. You heard that correctly, like a full-size bed for two people and our giant stupid dog, because she insists on sleeping with us, to a king-size bed.
Oh
And
damn.
I know, I feel very fancy, but like,
Yeah.
so we're also pretty thrifty people and we're crafty people. We like to DIY. And I found this like beautiful solid oak king size bed on Facebook Marketplace a couple weeks ago for $40. And I was like, oh my God, like
Whoa.
I know. And obviously that didn't include the mattress or anything, which I'm glad about because I really don't want a secondhand mattress like, if you're going to take the plunge and like upgrade to bed, we just figured we'd like be grown-ups and like get a bed. But I swear to God, like the universe was on our side because like we had been talking about like wanting a king size bed. I find this amazing bed for $40 on Let Go. I looked it up by the way too, and it was almost $2,000 retail.
Hot
And
damn. That's
I know,
crazy.
I know, and but we didn't really love the color, so we decided we were gonna chalk paint it because we like that like shabby chic kind of beat up look, and like we live in an
Man,
old.
see, this is why we need to live closer
I
because I
know,
need you to
right?
help me furnish my new house.
We could like,
So
rehab furniture together and paint and
yeah,
stuff. It would be so much fun. But
5 year goals, 5 year goals.
yes, let's form a 5-year plan. But
Yes, a 5 year friendship plan.
that, that sounds like the title of like a self-help book. We should write this. We should like co-author a book and call it the 5-year friendship plan. We could like go on like talking tours and stuff. We can go like give talks at high schools. Anyway, I am going down a little rabbit hole. I'm gonna rein it back in.
I
So
like it.
anyway,
I like it. I think we should put that in our pockets and hold on to that.
okay, click save. We're gonna hold on to that one. Possible
Nice.
moneymaker in the future.
Yes. Hey, I've got connections in the book
You
world,
do.
so
You do. So, we can like you can like hook it up. It'll be great. It'll be good
yes.
time. What?
I have to say 3 things.
Hold on, my wife has to tell me 3 things.
Okay.
That bed is fucking comfortable.
The bed is fucking comfortable. We were just talking about the bed.
Congratulations, you did it.
2,
Yay.
Success.
we need to buy bigger pillows because the pillowcases are enormous.
Oh, they're king size pillows. That makes sense.
Yes. And 3, that bed is enormous.
Yes, it is enormous.
It is
I'm so jealous.
It's more than 6 feet across and it's like 8 feet long. Wait, no, it's like 7 feet long.
7.5 feet long.
Yeah.
No, 7 feet long, yeah.
So it's huge.
So I can relate because the bed that my brother had brought down to me was like my grandma's bed that my brother actually had it in like high school, and it is a full size but like a short bed, and like so my boyfriend is like 6'1".
Right.
He says he's 6 foot, but I'm pretty sure he's like 6'2". But I'm also like 4'10", so like he just seems really tall to me. But so he has a queen size bed that we should be moving into our new house.
Oh, cool.
But like now you're talking about king size, and I'm like, shoot, I want one of those.
It's pretty great. I'm pretty excited. We kind of underestimated the amount of space it would take up in our room though, because you go up there now and it seems like it takes up practically the whole room. It's like, oh my God. But
I thought you guys had like a queen size bed. Like I didn't realize that it was that small.
No, the bed that you sleep on in the guest room, our bed is the same size.
Shut up.
Yeah, and Sparks has been feeling the need to sleep with us lately, and she'll like jump up in the middle of the night. We have to like kick her off because it's like close quarters. And so we decided we needed to like upgrade or whatever. And I'm so excited because tonight's gonna be the first night that we sleep in it. But yeah, we spent like 2 weeks redoing this thing because we also underestimated the amount of work it would take. Like it's a mission style bed, so it has all these like vertical slats like in the headboard and footboard, and like so we had to like individually sand and paint and then distress and seal like each individual slat. And like it was a huge pain in the butt, but it looks really good now. And yeah, so it's not super exciting, but that's something going on in my life. I got a new bed and I'm pumped.
Hey, it is exciting because then you're not like, if you're like me and you're like, you like your space.
Yeah.
And also, of course, I am a comforter hogger.
Me too.
Big time. Yeah. So like I can feel you. I can relate to your excitement there.
Yeah.
I'm a little jealous. Like, man, maybe we should go for king.
Well, and it's like we actually like so the mattress, because after I got the actual bed and we decided we were going to redo it, we're like, well, we're going to have to start shopping for mattresses or whatever. And we went to Aldi just like to get groceries, and they happened to have these like awesome 10-inch like cooling technology memory foam mattresses with like a 20-year warranty.
Aldi?
Aldi, like
what is this sorcery? Like Aldi is like on something. It's just turning into this crazy play. It's the government. It's totally the government.
But like, get this though, that bed, because like we had been saving literal cash in a jar in our bedroom for a new bed for like months, but like we just it wasn't adding up quick, and the mattress that we wanted to get was like over $1,000. The one at Aldi was like 230.
Shut up.
Yeah, and we were like, holy shit, and we had that amount of money saved in our cash jar, so we're like, we can just buy this bed. Like, we can afford it. And
Well,
so
isn't that such a good feeling?
it was just like, what the hell? And so like we were able to buy the bed. We didn't have to save anymore. And then we found out that we had like free bonus point thank you things from our city card. And our bedding we found we were able to get for free. So like we ended up spending under $300 for like a whole like a bed setup that would have cost like near $3,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane. Good
I
job.
know. Thank
I'm
you.
so damn proud of you guys.
Thank you. I was very excited. And it's funny because you had like, talked to me about your prosperity spell before and like how you were saying like, you're not like making more money, but like you feel like you have more money and like things are kind of falling in line. And like
Right.
I also have a prosperity, like a candle spell set up on my altar, and I light it like whenever I'm in there working. And I don't know, it just kind of felt like something like that. You know what I mean? It's like this thing that we wanted, and it might seem like a silly, trivial thing, but this thing that we wanted, that we were like saving all this money for, all of a sudden we had all of the money we needed for, and we were able to like get this thing.
Right.
So it was, I don't know, it was very cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I can totally relate. We like okay, so on the new moon, which tonight is the full moon, which is a harvest moon, which is weird to me because just, it isn't usually in October, so it's really strange, but whatever. And so the last new moon, I hadn't heard about the house yet. So my boyfriend and I just applied for a house, and like my apartment is not big enough for 2 people. And it's really awesome because it's like a loft on the square in my town. And it was really awesome because I had like just broken up with my boyfriend, and it was my first like time at true independence and paying like for everything on my own. Like for the first time ever, I was truly on my own, didn't have roommates, whatever. Then I can't say I met my boyfriend because we actually dated in college and it didn't go well. And then we kind of like, I'm recycling boyfriends basically. And so like, so he had moved in. It's not big enough for 2 people at all. Like just not even close. And so I was like, I have to move into a bigger place before I go crazy, especially because like you can relate, we're artistic people, and like and I also do so many trades. And like I trade so much with people, and I make like my sponge and everything, and my art corner has kind of become like my shipping corner. And so I'm just like, I haven't been able to paint, and I haven't been able to like spread out anymore. So we found a house and everything. So we applied for it, and on the new moon, I was just like, I thought maybe we wouldn't get it. We hadn't heard about it yet. And like, I had to let my landlord know like ASAP whether I was going to re-sign my lease or not next month. And so I had like, I lit so many candles, and I did so many spells, and I did so many grids, and I'm just like, please let us get this house. And so it was actually the next morning I lit another candle, and I was just setting my intentions and just praying to the universe about getting this place. And it was later that day, like I did a spell that morning, and then later that day, the lady called me and told me that she wanted to give us the house, and they were willing to hold on to it until the 1st of November when my, almost when my lease is up. It's actually in the middle of November, but whatever. And so it's like everything worked out perfectly, and you're just like,
that's so cool.
Like I was saying with the eclipse, y'all all are imaginary friends. You guys missed this part. Before we started the broadcast, I was talking about the solar eclipse and how there was almost like cloud coverage. And then one of the people that we were with, who are going to be our new neighbors, actually, we had like, me and like the husband had done a little spell, and the clouds went away, and it was amazing. And you're just like, magic is freaking real, people. It is real. And so good times, but yeah, setting your intentions and everything, it totally works.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, it's not just, I mean, again, for all of our adoring listeners, um, Senna, Senna hasn't just been looking for a house or wanting a house. She's also like been wanting a cat forever. And like
Yes.
she hasn't been able to have pets in her apartment except for her snails. And like her next door
Which all
neighbor,
have died. They've all died.
really? Oh no.
Yeah, I'm really sad about it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. They lasted a really long time.
They did. They lasted a heck of a lot longer than mine. I have always been bad with like fish and like any kind of like aquatic thing. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a fire sign. Like I keep it in and stuff. I don't know. Like maybe it's just like maybe it just don't mix with water. I don't know. But yeah, my snails
That's
didn't
funny.
last long at all. But I'm very, very sorry about your snails. I know that like,
Thank you.
you know,
It's okay.
you
I'm
like
moving on
got
to
them
bigger
like
and
from the
better.
river. Yeah.
Yeah, and I had gotten some more. I went back to Old Stone Fort, which is there's a hiking trail there. There's some waterfalls, and it's also an old Native American ceremonial ground, and it's
Oh wow.
very awesome. Which when you guys come to visit, we have to go there.
Yeah, I want to go.
But that's where I get my scales at, and I even went and got more. But I think it was just like, I don't know, like the pH in the water or something was just
Oh.
off, and so they didn't survive either. So I'm regrowing my
Oh.
plants right now because
Mhm.
like a lot of the plants had died as well in my tank, and so I'm
Mhm.
regrowing like the duckweed and everything. And then when I know I have enough food for them, I'll probably go and
Oh,
try
okay.
again. But we'll see what happens.
Okay.
So
Cool.
anyway, continue.
Um, well, I'm just, I'm excited that in addition to your snails, Senna's going to be able to get a kitten, and her new neighbors are,
Yeah.
they have a cat that just had a litter of kittens, and they saved a kitten for her, a specific kitten. And so she finally also is going to have like a yard so she can do outdoor rituals and like a room for magic. So like this is beyond just like having a little more space. Like it's kind of a
Yeah.
great situation. I'm very happy for her. I'm very happy for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank
You're
you so
welcome.
much. Well, and it's a black cat, which, all like witches
Yeah.
love black cats. And I told
Yep.
him, I was like, I know there is a very like small chance you're gonna have a black cat, but if you do, I want it. And so
Yeah.
yeah, he sent me a picture and he's like, there's definitely a black cat in here and we'll save it for you. And I'm like, yay, I'm so
That's so
happy.
exciting.
So, and I'm probably
Oh,
gonna
I
end up
wish
with
you lived
two.
closer.
Me
Ah.
too.
I've got a little black kitten sitting on my lap right now, and he smells because he
So I'm
always
thinking,
smells.
yeah, yeah, smelly cat.
He's a
So I'm
smelly cat.
thinking of names. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl yet. Like they haven't told me, and so
Oh.
I'm gonna find out on Sunday when we go like kitten shopping. But I'm trying to think
Aw.
of like gods and goddesses of like the night or the dark or
Yeah.
whatever. So of course like Luna is ideal, but everyone names black cats and pretty much anything
Right.
Luna. So I personally love Luna because it's from a show that is held very dear and near to my heart, which is Sailor Moon. But
Yeah.
I like to be a little more original than that. So you know,
I mean, at the end of the day, though, it's your cat.
it
You
is
can
my
name your
cat.
cat whatever the hell you want.
It is so true.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm gonna have an entire room like dedicated to like magic and painting and art and stuff like that. So hopefully,
Your craft room with a capital C. That's what I
yeah,
call my room because
right.
it's also an art room.
Yeah, and
It's my craft room.
well, and the what's that thing you have that you got your curio thing? What is that?
Oh, my like
It's like the top of a
what do
buffet.
you call it? Yeah, it's like a, oh God.
A,
Why
a
can't I think
hut?
of the word? A hutch. Yeah, I have a
Yes.
hutch.
So when I don't remember if I told you this or not, but when I was home last, I
Hmm.
went downstairs into my mom's basement, and she
Hmm.
has one very similar to that was on top of like
Oh,
our
wow.
buffet that we had, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh, I want that, and she's like, well, I'm gonna try and sell it, but if I don't sell it, then you can buy it off of me or whatever. But luckily, the other day, it was my
Uh-huh.
stepdad's birthday. And so I FaceTimed them and I was like, oh yeah, you guys need to come visit. Bring me my
Uh-huh.
my grandfather clock that my dad had bought for me that they've been holding on to like forever. And
Oh, wow.
and the hutch. And it was so funny because obviously with my stepdad and like their friend was there. They were at their friend's house, like having dinner for his
Uh-huh.
birthday. And she's like, oh, yeah, I won't charge her for it. And I'm like, sweet. All right. I'm like, now that your friends are listening, it's free. I'm okay with that.
Oh, God.
So they
You
were like,
can
yeah,
buy
we'll
it
be
off
good.
me.
Yeah,
How
yeah, because I was
generous.
like, yeah, right. I'm like, thanks, Mom, because that was like part
Yeah.
of the family, and it's one of the only things you have not sold. But whatever.
Man.
Most of my childhood has been sold once
Aw.
I moved and went to college and all that fun stuff. So
Most of mine just got given away. Did I tell you that my mom had she tried to give me all of my childhood artwork? She's like, well, I don't want it. I'm like, well, why would I want it? You're my mother. That's why kids make art to give to their mother. She's like, do you want all this junk? I'm like,
oh, no.
thanks, Mom. I know. So, but
Damn.
I actually ended up with a bunch of my childhood artwork because she was like, well, I'm just going to throw it out if you don't want it. It's like, don't throw out the art I made when I was 5 years old. This is I love you. It's fine, if you won't appreciate it, I'll stick it in my basement then. Whatever.
Right. Give it to my kids. Maybe they'll want it.
God. Mothers.
At least she gave you the option. I went home and I went through all my boxes and I'm like, right. Mom, there are all of my trophies and medals and everything from music and singing. All those trophies I had and all those solo and ensemble medals and everything. I did not find them at all. Unless she is hoarding them, I'm pretty sure she just threw them out. And it's not okay.
That's not okay. What the hell?
Yeah. And it's so funny because I live in a very small town and I'm in the newspaper almost every single week. And I found out today while I was on the bookmobile that apparently we have a library scrapbook. And the lady that goes on the bookmobile with me now, she's like, oh, yeah, I would put all the clippings and stuff when you're in the paper and everything in there. And I'm like, oh, you do way more than my mom does.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So I'm like, at least I'm going down in history, damn it.
Somewhere with someone. If not my mother.
Right? At least I have a real job.
Yeah.
But yeah, my mom's a trip. I love my mother. We get along better now, but like I said, she's the little sister I never had. Never wanted. Let me correct that. The little sister I never wanted.
That's so funny.
Not to trash talk my mom. And sometimes we have good moments, but other moments it's like she posted. Are you friends with her on Facebook?
Yeah.
You probably muted her by now because she writes crazy things. But the other day she was like, I saw a post about what you taught your daughters, and I don't think I taught them much, but I taught them how to have good skin and how to take care of their hair. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much it. But nobody knows that I'm about to turn 30, so thanks.
Oh, God.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom. Yeah, you don't have to apologize for venting about this sort of thing to me. I mean, God, I just started seeing a new therapist and it's been dredging up all the shit. And my mom will text me love you. And I'm like, ugh.
Oh my God. I actually had dinner with my therapist from college the other day.
Really?
Yeah, he had a conference in Nashville this last week, and he is the one guy that I saw through the death of my dad and my divorce and when I was homeless and all that crazy stuff. I had some crazy years behind me, but he was the one that I saw through all of that. And it was having another freaking therapy session. And of course he goes back to loving myself and all this stuff. I'm like, listen, I am okay with my apathy right now. I let one guy in enough, okay?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of afraid of marriage at this point because all my relationships have been horrifying, but just let me enjoy this moment.
Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah, so, but this was also my therapist at the Christian college I went to. So yeah. So it was I was hoping we could have a shift in our relationship at this point, but honestly it was just kind of but why is that? And but are you enjoying yourself? Are you having a relationship with God and all this stuff? And I'm like, I'm tired. You're exhausting me. Like, this is a really crazy conversation to be having with someone I'm supposed to be catching up with.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I guess
deep.
like I had never like thought of that, but that makes like, cause I've read that, like, I mean, obviously people aren't supposed to be like friends with their therapist while they're in therapy, but like
Right.
and there are like certain things about like how you shouldn't like interact like until a certain amount of time afterwards. But like I had never considered that it would just be hard to like be friends with someone that you've had, like, you know what I mean? That like you've
Right.
had that dynamic with, because like honestly, one of my last therapists, she was so great. And like I've like even now like I'm seeing another therapist, I guess not like recently, but like I would think like, oh, how great would it be if I could like be friends with her one day? You know what I mean? Like she was just so great. And
Right.
like honestly, yeah, like maybe it's just not possible because like that dynamic is so specific.
Well, and granted, he was here for a psychology conference. So it could have been, when you go to conferences, like
you're like in the zone.
Yeah, you get this like high and like that could have been it too. I don't know. I haven't seen him since my divorce. So like
right.
4 or 5 years ago. So like yeah, it was it was interesting to say the least. But he did donate a bunch of like homeschool books to me to like put to the library. So that was good.
Oh, okay, cool.
So that was nice because he homeschooled. I didn't know that, but it was all right. But anyway, so right. I digress. But hey, how about we tell some ghost stories?
Okay. I've got a doozy.
Yeah, let's stage first. Especially because like we're getting so close to Samhain, so I'm all about like the protection right now.
I feel you. And actually, I forgot my sage upstairs. So you know what I'm gonna do? Actually, I'm freaking moving up to my altar room. That is what I'm gonna do.
Right, you do that. Oh man,
like you're on my iPad, and so I'm able to move, and that is what I'm gonna do.
Awesome. I will.
You guys might hear some like residual background noise because my lovely wife is going to be watching TV in the next room. But I figured I was gonna say I'll go upstairs and grab my sage, but it's in my craft room, and I figured we might as well just stay there. So
there you go.
Here we go.
Yeah, I'm all about the protection right now. Especially it's a full moon. Samhain is on its way. The veil has definitely been thinning.
The veil is thin. I can feel it. And actually, I had this was a very minor experience, but I did have an experience last night. And I wasn't even in my altar room. I wasn't meditating. I hadn't started a ritual or anything. It was just sort of happened. So, yeah, I'm the need for extra.
What happened?
Oh, sorry.
Leave me hanging.
Yes. Yeah, so like there was a ghost or whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, crazy things happened. It was insane. So anyway, let's light some sage.
Yeah. So yesterday we had to run some errands to go pick up stuff to finish our bed, which we had to like convert it into a platform bed or whatever. And so we went out and we came back home, and Ash was outside like cutting down one of the boards we had to buy, and I walked inside. And so for reference, okay, in this house lives me, my wife, our dog, and our 3 cats. 2 of our cats were outside. I was holding the 3rd. Sparks was outside, who is our dog, and my wife was outside. So it was just me and the cat that I was holding. And I walked into the kitchen, and I'm facing this hallway, and you know where our basement door is?
Yeah.
Okay. I was facing that way, and we always leave the basement door unlatched so the cats can go down there if they want. But like I said, the other cats are outside. I watched the basement door right in front of me swing open to about like 1.5 feet and then swing back closed.
No, what?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my God.
It was
Was it the Woogie Man?
I don't know. Well, and like, so it's starting to get a little cooler out. So it's like we haven't been keeping our windows open. There wasn't a draft. And yeah, I watched it happen. I was like, and it was a significant enough movement that I was like honestly concerned that someone had like come in our house while we were gone.
Yeah.
And so I actually went out and got Ashley and was like, look, I just watched the door swing open and closed, and I just want to make sure there's no one in the basement. And we went and searched the basement, and no one was there. So
That's crazy.
I know. So anyway, yes.
When did this happen?
This was last night.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, probably like around like 7:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. I can't believe I didn't text you actually. We immediately started like working on the project.
What the hell, man?
I know. I was like, well, got stuff to do. Like, spirits, whatever. Well, I'll go back to work. Like, I don't know. It's just like how I operate, I guess. But yeah. So that was a little freaky and
weird.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you go in your basement very often?
Do I go down there?
Yeah.
Not super often. I mean, we can a lot of food ourselves and stuff, and we have deep freezers in the basement. So if I need something out of the basement to make dinner or something, like I'll go down there. So it's like I don't know, I go down there like once every couple days, probably. I would say Ash probably goes down there like once a day.
Yeah.
Why do you ask?
Okay. Oh, I was just curious, like if you've ever like, I mean, granted, like basements are creepy anyway, especially in the north. They are. Like, because there's only like, you don't usually find any that are actually like furnished.
Right.
But it's so funny since I've lived in the South, and it's like hardly anyone has a basement. And actually, our new house, it has like a half basement, but you get into it from the outside. So it's very much like a cellar that's like underneath the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'm like, Christian went down there when we were checking out the house. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going down there, but you can.
But have fun.
Yeah. So I was just curious because like basements are creepy anyway. So
creepy. Like, and I mean, I don't know. I've felt negative things in this house before, but nothing that I felt was attached to the house. I felt like it was kind of circumstantial, like the things I've told you about before.
Like it's passing through.
Right. Having that said, I've felt other presences here before that are very subtle and that may be attached to the house. So maybe it was just something like that. And I don't know, maybe like the thinner veil and like, you know, the year is waning. Like maybe it just was strengthened or something. I don't know, but things have been, I don't know. I can definitely feel a shift for sure.
Yeah. Definitely. Apparently there's going to be a ghost tour on the square here. And I don't know what the Gunter building where I'm at is going to be a part of it. But like, I'm just curious because like, dude, I have so many ghost stories to tell you people.
Yeah. Well, that would be so cool.
Like, I should be a part of this. And like anyone that works with me knows, like, I have so many ghost stories.
Right on.
But anyway, so I've been smudging.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Did you
pretty much
forget your sage?
I know. I did. I know. The irony is not
prime example, people.
I totally forgot. And I told you guys before, like, I need to take protection more seriously. So
observe what not to do.
Yes, exactly. When the show is called "Don't Forget the Sage," don't forget your sage.
Don't
like
forget
I did.
The damn sage.
Exactly.
All right. Let's tell some ghost stories.
All right.
So I think I went first last time. So do you want to start?
Sure, I would be happy to start. And I will say that this story is possibly less a ghost story than it is a demon story.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. So just a heads up, it's freaky.
The plot thickens.
Yeah. Well, and like I was attracted to this story because I actually, and what I printed off to reference, is actually an article from the Indianapolis Sun, the newspaper. And so it was like a front page story. Yeah, it's just like, and it's corroborated by like 800 pages of legal documentation from like child protective services, from like hospitals. It's fairly compelling. And so,
oh my God.
Yeah. And I had not heard of this either until I found this online. And I was like, how in the hell how did I miss this? I don't know. But so.
You mean there isn't a Ghost Adventures episode of this?
Well, it's funny that you say that because I didn't think so. And I mean, like, I keep up pretty well with Ghost Adventures, but apparently, and I don't know if this is true, but I read somewhere, not in this article, but somewhere else, that Zach Bagans bought the house that this.
Oh, I know what you're doing. Okay, go ahead.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
You are? Is this, and I'm hoping I'm not like mixing it up with something now too, because I'm like, oh crap, is this not the right thing? But the
I'm pretty sure I know what you're talking
about. LaToya Ammons.
The demon house?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so, and I mean, this is more about the family than it is the house itself. But I thought that was pretty crazy when I like read that online. So anyway, jump right in. This might seem kind of choppy because I mean, I printed off this article and it printed out like 12 pages front and back. So I read through it and I highlighted the bits that I thought were the most important. So if anyone's interested in further reading, I would recommend it. It's a really weird, really compelling story, and you can find it on the Indianapolis Sun webpage. So anyway,
I think they have a Twitter too, like dedicated to the Demon House, because I follow it.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah, but I haven't been updated on it since they mentioned that Zach Bagans was going to buy it. So
okay, I'm excited to hear. I don't know if I was gonna say, I'm like, because this is the article is from, let's see, originally published January 25th, 2014. So like this was, from a while ago. So it may have gained more of a following since then. And this is honestly, like, today was my first exposure to this story. So, but it's crazy. Okay. So, a woman and 3 children who claim to be possessed by demons. Gary Police Captain Charles Austin said it was the strangest story he had ever heard. Austin, a 36-year veteran of the Gary Police Department, said he initially thought Indianapolis resident LaToya Ammons and her family concocted an elaborate tale as a way to make money. But after several visits to their home and interviews with witnesses, Austin said simply, quote, "I am a believer." So this is the captain of the police department saying that, like, he witnessed this and he believes the story. So the investigation, when he was called, led to one of the most unusual cases ever handled by the Department of Child Services. Many of the events are detailed in nearly 800 pages of official records obtained by the Indianapolis Star. Oh, Star, not Sun, guys. I'm sorry. The Indianapolis
Star. Sun, tomato, tomato.
I mean, the Sun's a star, whatever.
That's
tomato,
true.
tomato.
Yeah, that is so true.
So, yeah, by the Indianapolis Star and recounted in more than a dozen interviews with police, DCS personnel, psychologists, family members, and a Catholic priest. The tale, they say, is one that started with flies. So basically, all of these different things started happening, but it started first with these swarms of big black flies that would like swarm their house in the dead of winter. Like, it was December when they moved in, and the flies weren't there right when they moved in. There was no smell of rot or anything, but there were all these flies inexplicably everywhere. And in addition to that, they occasionally heard what they called the steady clump of footsteps climbing the basement stairs and the creak of the door opening between the basement and the kitchen. Which is so creepy because it's what happened last night. I'm like, the door between my basement and my kitchen was open. I'm like, oh. But no one was there.
When did you start researching this?
Today. It was today. So like that happened last night, and then I started researching this and I was like, that sounds familiar.
A little bit of a foreshadow, no biggie.
I know. I'm like, oh, it is creepy. I know. Maybe I should cleanse my whole house. Okay, so Campbell, who is Rosa Campbell, said, sorry, I lost my, she occasionally saw a shadowy figure of a man pacing in her living room. The first time this happened, she leapt out of bed to investigate and found large wet boot prints on the hallway floor. On March 10th, 2012, she said that the family's unease turned to fear. It was about 2 a.m. And they were all awake out in their living room, which was unusual, but like someone that they had just known had died, and they were mourn. Basically, they were like sharing stories or whatever. And Latoya Amons, the mom in this family, went in to check on one of her kids and started screaming "Mama, Mama" for her mother, the kid's grandmother, Rosa Campbell. And so she said she ran into the bedroom where the then 12-year-old granddaughter and a friend were staying. Amons and Campbell said the 12-year-old was levitating above the bed, unconscious.
Holy shit.
Everyone who was there for this gathering, because their friend had died, immediately came into the room. They were all freaking out and they started praying, like they grabbed hands. And eventually the granddaughter descended onto the bed. The girl woke up with apparently no memory of what had happened. And after that happened, I guess the group of friends that were there never came back to the house again.
I mean,
I can't blame them. It's like,
right.
I get it.
I almost said, well, would you? And then I realized like who we are, and like, yeah, we'd totally
I was
back.
like, well, maybe. I really
bring
hope
some like scrying tools.
Yeah, exactly. Like, let me grab my pendulum. Okay. Let me see. I'm trying to, I dropped these pages earlier and I think I got them back in the right order, but I'm not sure. So friends refused to return. They, after this, began calling local churches because they didn't, most of them refused to listen to them. They thought they were just full of crap. But at one church's suggestion, Latoya said that she poured olive oil on all three of her children's hands and feet and smeared oil in the shape of a cross on their forehead. So she was instructed basically to anoint them for protection and do this throughout her house as well. But apparently they were still having all of this crazy activity. And so they reached out to two clairvoyants who both independently of each other, which is weird, said that the family's home was besieged by more than 200 demons. So like each of these people, as far as I understand, I know. And each of them said the same thing. So that's pretty crazy. One said that the best thing that you can do is move. For this family, I mean, they were pretty strapped for cash and moving wasn't an option for them. So instead, Latoya said that she took one of the clairvoyant's advice and made an altar in her basement. She burned sage and sulfur throughout the house, starting upstairs and working their way down. And so she was basically trying to like clear the energy from her house by herself. And after that, apparently nothing odd happened for 3 days. But then after that, things got much worse. The family said that demons possessed Amons and her children, then ages 7, 9, and 12. The kids' eyes bulged, evil smiles spread across their faces, and their voices deepened every time it happened. Campbell said, this is the grandmother, said that the 7-year-old once flew out of the bathroom as if he'd been thrown, and a headboard once smacked into the daughter, causing a wound that actually needed stitches.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there were some nights that were so bad that the family left and would sleep in a hotel. What? Oh, let me see. Oh crap. Okay, I definitely have one out of whack here. Oh no. Sorry guys. Let's see.
Filler.
Yeah. Okay. All right. There we go. I got it. So after one particularly violent, incident, the mom decided to take her kids to see their family doctor, and he had apparently written that they, he thought that they were delusional or whatever, but oh gosh, sorry. Okay, so basically what Amons and Campbell say happened next was detailed in a Department of Child Services report of the family cases manager's interviews with medical staff. Campbell and Amons Eamon's sons cursed the doctor in demonic voices, began raging at him because he said that they were delusional, basically. Medical staff said the youngest boy, and this is on record. So this doctor's medical staff in the office said the youngest boy was, quote, lifted and thrown into a wall with no one touching him. And this was recorded in the department report.
Oh my God.
I know. And like, if you actually go to the Indianapolis Star website, you can, like, there are links to some of these documents. So like, it's pretty crazy. Someone from the doctor's office during this whole escapade called 911, and 7 or 8 police officers and multiple ambulances showed up. And so the doctor says no one could figure out exactly what was happening. Police and emergency personnel took the boys to the Methodist Hospital campus in Gary, Indiana. And both of the boys woke up in the hospital. Apparently, they were unconscious on the way there because things were so chaotic back at the doctor's office. So
wow.
They woke up I know. They woke up in the hospital, and the older boy, who was then 9, acted rationally, but the youngest screamed and thrashed. It said it took 5 men to hold him down. This is a 9-year-old. No, the youngest, he was 7. This 7-year-old boy, it took 5 grown men to hold down, and this is in the police report.
Wow.
Someone else in the hospital called the Department of Child Services and asked the agency to investigate the mother for possible child abuse or neglect. The caller, who was not named in the report, speculated that she may have had a mental illness. The person believed that the children were performing for her and that she was encouraging their behavior. Hospital personnel examined Latoya Ammons and her children, and found them to be healthy and free of marks or any bruises. A hospital psychiatrist followed up and did an evaluation and determined that the mother was of sound mind. Let me see. Later that same evening, the Department of Child Services, like the person registered to their case, her last name is Washington, so that's what we'll refer to her here because I didn't highlight her first name. It was earlier. Anyway, so she and registered nurse Willie Lee Walker brought the 2 boys into a small examination room for an interview. And the grandmother joined them. The 7-year-old stared into his brother's eyes and began to growl. "It's time to die," the boy said in a deep, unnatural voice. "I will kill you." This is also noted in the DCS report. When the youngest boy, what happened next would rattle the witnesses, and to some, it would offer not only evidence, but proof of paranormal activity. So this is the strangest thing that's recorded in the official documents. It says, according to Washington's original DCS report, an account corroborated by Walker, the registered nurse, the 9-year-old who had a, quote, weird grin, he walked backwards up a wall to the ceiling. He then flipped over Campbell, landing on his feet. He never let go of his grandmother's hand.
What the hell?
Yeah, I know. And that's in the, like, it's so strange to me that, like, that's in the report with the DCS. Like, the woman assigned to these children's case wrote that. Right. Quote, he walked up the wall, flipped over her, and stood there, Walker told the Star. There's no way he could have done that. Later, police asked Washington whether the boy had run up the wall as though performing an acrobatic trick. No, Washington told them. She said the boy, quote, glided backward on the floor, according to, and this is also corroborated by the police report. Right. She told police she was scared when it happened and ran out of the room. So this is the caseworker was so frightened by what she saw happen, ran out of the room. As for Walker, he ran out of the room with me. So they both just like took off running. Like, so these 2 grown people were so rattled by what they saw this child do that they both just cut and run. So like, that's crazy to me. Yeah. That was the craziest part of, I don't know, the actual events that happened. A police report quoted Washington saying that she believed that there could be a, quote, evil influence affecting the family. DCS took the emergency step of taking custody. Yeah, seriously.
Or your family's just weird. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know. Who am I to judge? You know, whatever.
Yeah, right.
So DCS took the emergency step of taking custody of the children without a court order. Quote, all of the children were experiencing spiritual and emotional distress, Washington wrote in the DCS form. Let's see. The Reverend Michael Maginot, we'll call him Michael, was
All
leaving
right.
Bible study in his living room on the morning of April 20th, 2012, when he received a call from the hospital chaplain. The chaplain asked him to perform an exorcism on Eamon's 9-year-old son. So, like, the hospital chaplain was troubled enough by what he had heard and seen that he reached out for an exorcism to, like, an outside source, which is also crazy to me. Like, this is insane to me that I'm, like, reading from a newspaper article. Ammons and Campbell in the Carolina Street home on April 22nd, 2012. For 2 hours, Ammons and Campbell detailed the phenomena for him. Then Campbell interrupted the interview to point out a flickering bathroom light. The flickering stopped each time Michael walked over to investigate, which he attributed to a demonic presence. The interview was interrupted later again when Campbell pointed out the Venetian blinds in the kitchen swinging even though there was no air current. Michael said that he also saw wet footprints throughout the living room. Ammons complained about having a headache. Michael said that she convulsed when he placed a crucifix against her head. After a 4-hour interview, Michael said that he was convinced that the family was being tormented by demons. He said he also believed that there were ghosts in the house. He blessed the house before he left, praying, reading from the Bible, and sprinkling holy water in each room. He told Ammons and Campbell to leave because it wasn't safe there, and they temporarily moved in with a relative.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? But less than a week later, the two women were back on Carolina Street to let Washington and the family case manager check the condition of the home. Let's see. And a bunch of people were there too, like the police captain who I quoted earlier, some other police officers and stuff. They went with them as well. Professional curiosity. Apparently, every time they went back to this house, the group that went was bigger and bigger because people are just like, I need to see this place.
Right?
So, yeah. Austin, the Gary police captain, was one of the officers there. He later told the Star he believed in ghosts and the supernatural, but said he didn't believe in demons. Austin said he changed his mind after visiting the Carolina Street house. During an interview with Campbell, one of the officers' audio recorders malfunctioned, according to Austin and Hammond police records. The power light flashed to indicate that the batteries were dying, even though the officer had placed fresh batteries in the recorder earlier that day. Another officer recorded, and when he played it back later, heard an unknown voice whisper, "Hey," according to Lake County police record. Austin said the driver's seat in his own personal Infiniti, his car, started moving backward and forward on its own when he tried to leave. Austin said that he found himself starting to believe Amon's claims of paranormal activity, but the mental professionals evaluating she and her children remained skeptical. And then there are a couple of pages, again, like if you have time, I would recommend you go and read this because I just skipped like 2 pages, but for the sake of brevity. During another subsequent investigation after the children were taken away, Austin, the police captain, said he left the house at nightfall. Austin, who's been shot at and has investigated murders, rapes, and armed robberies during his more than 3 decades in the force, said that he wasn't staying in the house past dark, even if other people were there. The other officers continued to walk through the home. On the main floor, they noticed an oil-like substance dripping from the Venetian blinds in a bedroom, but couldn't figure out where it was coming from. To make sure Campbell or Ammons hadn't poured oil on the blinds, 2 of the officers used paper towels to clean it off. The officers sealed the room for 25 minutes and stood nearby so no one could walk in. When they went back in, the oily substance had reappeared, according to the police report.
Weird.
There was also, I think this, and I skipped enough that I don't know for sure who this is. I think it's another clairvoyant. Her last name is Illick. Illick said that she had a string of medical problems after visiting the home. A week after she visited the house for the last time, she got 3rd-degree burns from a motorcycle. Within 30 days, she also broke 3 ribs while jet skiing, broke a hand when she hit a table, and then broke an ankle while running in flip-flops. Quote, I had friends who wouldn't talk to me anymore because they genuinely believed that something had attached itself to me, she said.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's just like, it's just crazy to think about. 2 police officers who had kept oh wait, hold on. This might be. No, I think we were good. Okay, so the priest was at this particular. Oh wait. Oh gosh, darn it. Sorry, friends. We're experiencing technical difficulties. Let's see. No. Maybe I just lost something. I don't know. Okay, so 2 police officers who had kept in touch with the priest since the home investigation stood nearby in case. Oh, okay. So I'm missing a page or something. basically, the priest had decided he was going to perform an exorcism on the mother, Latoya Amons. Oh, I remember now. So he decided he was going to do an exorcism that wasn't sanctioned by the Catholic Church because they would not that she needed it anyway. Um, so he went to, I don't know, exercise her, I guess. And I lost my place again, and I'm very sorry. Anyway, okay, the point is, I'll give you the general gist of it. That was the last time they investigated the house. The priest who was there was concerned enough for Latoya Amon's safety that he like pushes and was like, I'm going to perform an exorcism anyway. One of the exorcisms that he performed on her, police actually attended and stood by him in case she needed to be restrained because she had apparently like shown extra like I don't know, just like superhuman strength while in one of these crazy states. Right. So the fact that police were attending these was very strange.
I wonder if any of this is on video.
I don't know. I've heard that there's like audio recordings and stuff, but yeah, it's pretty crazy. And eventually, I guess he did get clearance from the Catholic Church to perform an exorcism. And so at this point, Latoya and her mother had moved to Minneapolis, and they actually drove back up to Gary for him to perform this exorcism. And apparently after the third exorcism, she's fine. It was the last time that she saw the priest. She and her mother drove back to Indianapolis, where they now live without fear. It then says that she regained custody of her 3 children in November 2012, about 6 months after they had been removed. Amons called her children's return the happiest day of her life. The children said they felt safe after they left the house on Carolina Street. No demonic presences or spirits in the home. DCS family case manager Christina Oljanik wrote in the team meeting notes dated January 10th, 2013. She did not return calls from the star seeking comment. So their new caseworker had actually documented that she had inspected the home and there was no demonic spirits or presence in the home, which I thought was interesting. But yeah, so that is the crazy story of the exorcisms of Latoya Amons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so did you research any of the part with Zach Bagans at all?
Not really, no. Like I said, this was like my first real exposure to this story, but I am all about hearing, so.
Okay, I'm not like trying to hijack your story.
No, go for it.
But I'm so excited that you did it because like I completely forgot about it. But the reason I heard about it was because like, so I get like notifications whenever like any of the guys from Ghost Adventures tweet. And so back in 2014, when Zach Bagans had bought the house, he is supposed to be doing a documentary on it and like the family that live there and everything.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so it's supposed to be called The Demon House, but we've been waiting since 2014 for this documentary to happen. So it's been put on hold for years. And like I kept getting tweets where he was like, so we're having to push this back because, you know, some weird stuff's happening with the house, blah, blah, blah. And then they ended up demolishing the house.
What?
Yeah. So, and he was the one that demolished it. But the documentary they had announced in June of this year is supposed to be released in 2018. So I'm hoping that it's going to happen, but like we've been waiting since 2014 for it to happen. But the house is now demolished. Which is so crazy.
That is crazy.
Which like, I haven't really read up on like what happens when you demolish a demonic house? Like, do they just
what happens to that?
Like,
right.
Yeah. Like how does that solve the problem? I'm so confused.
Yeah, I don't know how it would solve the problem because it's like it seems like negativity could still be attached to the land for one thing, or if it's not, like doesn't that mean they're just gonna like move on to something else or like a different home nearby? Yeah, like I don't know.
Yeah, and it's really strange, like when you're like, oh, there's a haunted house, like why are they in the house? Like why can't they get out of the house? It's really
That is
weird.
really
Like when
weird.
you think about it, it's like I want to know why. Like I have a lot of questions.
I have a theory.
What is it?
Okay, so basically, I believe that we as human beings are comprised of like two parts, right? Aside from
Mhm.
the body, I think that esoterically we're comprised of two parts. We have our soul or our ego, which is basically, I'll just call it the ego for now. Maybe the soul is something else, which is like this particular life's collection of experiences and idiosyncrasies and basically your personality. And then there's something more, basically what ties us to the universe. Like Carl Sagan
Right.
once said that we are the universe experiencing itself. And I believe that to be true. And like in that sense, you can never die. Like you're always a part of the universe. You are a part of a whole. And so I believe that there's a part of us that when we die is just like reabsorbed by the universe. It's basically our eternal self.
Right.
But that ego, I believe, stays behind. And it's just like who you were in this life minus like the universal life spark or spirit, if you will. So it's like
Yeah.
all of just who you are, not balanced out by like your universal, or I don't want to say supernatural, but I don't have a better word. So like supernatural sense of like logic and empathy and everything. It's like just kind of a shell of who you were. That's like my theory on um like I don't know, especially pervasive ghosts that have been around for a
What it could be.
while. Like
Uh-huh.
maybe they don't go because in life they were like really stubborn and they're like, no, like I'm hanging on because they don't like the idea. Like maybe like crossing over for the soul or like who you are in this life. It's just like
Uh-huh.
disintegrating. It's like, I don't know, like you are no, I don't know. I could see myself because I'm a very stubborn person. Like between the option, like I could see myself being like, okay, so you have one of two options. You can either like like have your energy of this personality reallocated by the universe and sent somewhere else, or you can be stuck here. I'd be like, I'm not going anywhere. So like, I don't know. But that's my
Yeah.
theory. Like the
No, that's a good
ego and
theory.
the
That's really
universe.
interesting.
Thank you.
That's really interesting. I mean, I'm very up in the air with a lot of it, but
Yeah.
I have two two conflicting sides of it because
Mm-hmm.
like there's a part of me of like what we grew up with, like learning that like
Sure.
okay, these things are actually demons, and like
Uh-huh.
if you think about it, like if Satan exists, then if I was Satan, I'd be like, hey, you know, it would really freak out Billy. Watch this, you know,
Yeah.
and like you know, it's kind of like a game basically, and like demons that are inhabiting these things, and but aside from that, like if you think of it scientifically, um, like energy can be created, but it can't necessarily be taken away. And so, like that concept to me is like I spend a lot of time thinking about it, where it's like, okay, so like we can create energetic forces, but then
Mm-hmm.
where do they go? And like when you think about it, it's like we are all about our energy, whether it's positive or negative, or whether
Yes.
it's you know a strong energy or a low vibration of energy. And you know, if your body dies, like your energy's got to still be there somewhere, you know. And
Yeah.
so it's I don't know where it goes, you know. And
Yeah.
so, or if it's just like the negative parts of our energy that stays behind
Oh,
because it's if you think of when you're in a horrible mood, like you're
that's
trapped in your
true.
own mind, in your own
Yeah.
body, and you can't seem to go anywhere. And so could it
Yeah.
be even, you know, not saying like our souls are split or anything, but maybe they are in a way, you
Like
know. So
Voldemort.
yes, we have horcruxes when we die. So um, so those are, I mean, those are two of my theories, but they're not very solid
Hmm.
theories, and they're not like I believe this. Like honestly, like when I come
Right.
down to it, I'm like, yeah, sure, this could be it, but I have no freaking clue.
Sure. Well, and I
So
mean, really, I think it's I think that it's great to, not have a clue if I'm being completely honest, because like
right.
nobody knows. Like nobody knows for sure like what happens. Like
Mm-hmm.
people have their various theories, and some people have blind faith, which I think is incredibly dangerous. But like, but at the end of the day, no one knows. No one has, witnessed the dawn of the universe. Like, no one knows what's there, what's not there, what happens when we die, because I don't know, like you don't. Like,
yeah.
Totally
we're not supposed to know.
Yeah, of course. Like, I mean, if we were meant to know, maybe we would know. And like, so I think it's totally fine to say that you don't know, or that like you have theories, but you know what I mean? I don't know. I think that that's healthier.
Yeah. Yeah. I think having some mystery in life and death is part of who makes us what we are. And like, I mean, honestly, if we all knew the answer to those questions, then I think everyone would live a little differently.
Oh, for sure.
And the fact that like we don't, it's almost like a test where it's like, okay, well, what are you going to choose? Are you going to choose to be like a shitty person, or, you don't have the answers and you're going to choose to put like higher vibrations into the universe anyway. So it's just, we could go way deeper with this, but
we could.
I was just reading about when Zach Bagans had the house demolished, which happened last year. It says, Zach says the demons were the real deal and felt strongly it should never be inhabited again. He believes dark energy permeated the rubble, so he had it locked away in a storage facility.
What? Wow.
Yeah. So is that storage facility haunted now, or is
seriously,
or is the land haunted, or both? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, how does that work exactly? That's so weird.
I have so many questions.
Yeah. Well, it's like one of my questions is like, how does that happen? Like, how?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, what?
Why was it so haunted?
Right. Like, what made that happen? What invites that? Or, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's the thing that kind of freaks me out. Like,
that's really interesting. We need to do some research on that and see if we can find any like history of like prior tenants to the house, and if any of them had like, like satanic rituals or something like that.
Yeah.
Because some people invite that stuff in. Like, that's what it seems like. If somebody invited that in, like, why else would it attach to that house?
That's like so crazy to me too, though, because it's like, why would anyone do that? Like, do you think they do it consciously, or is it an accident?
Right.
Like,
well, when I talk to like my coven leader who has the shop, metaphysical shop, she talks about like how she tries to help people, but sometimes there are people that like are clearly doing things that are harmful. And like there was one person in particular that kept asking her for help, and she wanted to like cleanse her and bless her house. Well, she kept doing things that were inviting evil into her house. And finally,
like what though?
Like, I think she was like asking dark energies to come join her, or like opening, like not protecting herself and opening herself up to what?
Oh, you cut out for a sec.
Oh, sorry. She was basically opening herself up to dark energies to come talk to her. Like, I don't know if she was doing some kind of like voodoo practice or something like that, but it wasn't the kind of like respectful speaking with the dead kind of stuff. It was more like she was inviting it in there, and not using a Ouija board the way she should, kind of stuff. Sure. And so finally she was just like, I can't help you, and I don't want it to attach to me, so you're on your own now, because I keep helping you and you keep bringing it back. So sorry. But it's just that kind of stuff, like people, I mean, and I've seen this, I don't know if you've seen this through like the groups we're a part of, but there are people that sometimes practice dark magic, and you gotta wonder, is there dark energy that you're allowing into your life and your psyche that could be, because then you look at their lives and you look at like the way they interact with all our other witchy friends, and like they have so much chaos. So much. So I don't know if you saw any of the drama happening in one of our groups this
I did
last
not.
week? You
I don't think
didn't?
so.
Okay.
Wait. Was it maybe? Okay, go on. Maybe I did. I don't know.
Okay. I don't want to give anyone away because I don't want to like trash talk anybody on here. But okay, in TSC, you know what that means? TSC, that group, the TSC group. The admin of that group was not getting along with a certain member of that group, who I'm not sure if you're friends with or not, but I am. And honestly, it's like she gets pissed off at people a lot. And whenever she does like dark magic against them. And it's like, why? What? Yeah, and I'm just like, why do you have so many problems with people? Because she makes it look like, oh, this person wronged me, and I just want you to know karma's going to get you, and I've got my black altar set up, and all this crazy stuff that I'm like, what happened?
Yeah, like, I'm sorry. Did I miss something?
Right. And so this individual, had a tiff with the admin of the TSC group, and it was, and of course, I've personally met the admin of this group, you know, and you can generally, when you meet people, feel like certain levels of energy from them, and you know, a lot of good things happen in that group, and they do a lot of fundraisers to help people who need to pay bills and stuff. Like, it's amazing. Well, there was like a tiff that happened between them, and like there was like dark magic happening and all this crazy stuff, and you're just like, why are you doing that? Like, when someone wrongs me, like, I'm just like, man, what a bitch, and then I like move on, you know. And so you just never know. Like, some people hold grudges, and some people, like, I don't know why. You know, sometimes people can use dark magic
you keep breaking up.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Some people use dark magic respectfully, I guess you could say. And then there are people that use it for evil. And whether it's against other people or whether it's, I don't know, they're bored. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming something like this that had that many demons, like there was some pretty shady shit happening.
Really?
Like, that's what I would think.
I'll have to check that out. I don't think I saw that. I did see on one of the groups someone like complaining about someone, but that was like the extent of it. Like, I don't know. Question though, like, what do you think makes dark magic dark magic? Is it just intention?
I think so, but also I think maybe and I don't want to, like, I'm not going to act like I'm a professional in this area, but from what I've observed, like, one thing about dark magic, and there's different levels of dark magic, of course, you know, it's like when you and I celebrate Samhain, we are mindful and careful and respecting our ancestors, and you know, we're wanting to visit with them for the benefit of both of us. What I've seen with dark magic, it's like people have an aggressive intention, and they have an evil intention, and it's like when they're wanting to communicate with, you know, darker entities, it's like, of course, you can work with like Morgana and Hecate and things like that to work with your shadow self, which ends up being a positive thing. However, when you're wanting to, like, this makes me think of Charmed, but when you're seeking self-gain, you know, in a selfish way, like, it's really, when it comes down to it, it's about intention. Or when you're wanting to harm other people, like, I do not touch other people's free will. But when you're touching other people's free will, like, that's a whole level of magic that you have to realize there are consequences for, you know? So that's my theory. I mean, I'm not a professional, but like, I observe things, and some people are just, I don't know if they're under the influence of of demonic activity or something like that, but like I don't know if you've seen people like when I've gone on missions trips and stuff, it's like there isn't a real person there. There is something else. Oh, remember? Okay, remember when there was that like person that was clearly possessed back home, and like I would always end up in like a bathroom stall next to them.
Wait, hold on. I'm like, you're breaking up again.
Oh man. I don't know why.
Okay, try it again.
Okay, remember back home when there was that person that I kept ending up in a bathroom stall next to, and they were clearly like possessed, and I could hear voices from them that were like not human?
Yeah, I do remember that.
And then you had also heard it when you were at like TJ Maxx, but it was like the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, obviously there's something else there that is not that person.
Okay.
That's what I feel. But anyway.
Confusing to me. It's just like, because again, like how or why, like, why is it happening? Because like I've got to believe like it's not just people who are consciously practicing like dark magic who end up something dark. And if that's the case, then what is it that attracts them? Or like, why do they? I don't know.
I don't know. We should research it and find out, and the next time we can talk about it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I know it's breaking up a little bit, and hopefully it's going to fix itself. But
yeah, it keeps breaking up so bad.
Yeah, I don't know why. Do you want to hang up and then try? Do you want to hang up and try again, and then maybe it'll reconnect better, and then I can tell my ghost story?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Part 2. Okay.
All right. I will call you back in a second.
Okay.